Okay, Dr. Brett Butterfield here again. I want to give an introduction to artisan sourdough bread. It's actually not too hard to make artisan sourdough bread. Now, to master artisan sourdough bread is a different animal. But really, any artisan bread that you make is going to be better than most breads that you can buy. So I'd encourage you just to get started and have fun with it, and there's a lot of ways you can screw it up, but it's still going to taste great. So there's a lot that goes into it, and really every batch of artisan sourdough bread is a little bit different. So there's a lot of different things to consider, and it's a bit of an art, and it's fun. So you want to consider the wheat that you use. Typically for making bread, you use what's called a hard wheat, and a lot of times maybe you grab wheat flour at the grocery store and you don't look at what's on it. But you want either a hard wheat. It's going to have higher protein content. You might be able to get away with an all-purpose flour. That's kind of mid-range as far as its protein content. Okay. I prefer to get organic, higher quality wheat. You definitely want it to be unbleached. Anything that's bleached is chemically bleached. It's not the traditional bleaching that used to be done. They'll use typically either bromine, so things, kind of harsh chemicals you don't really want in your wheat. So get unbleached, preferably organic wheat. That's going to be one of the biggest influencing factors in your artisan bread. The next biggest influencing factor is the starter that you use. And so I'm going to do a separate video on the starter, and there's a specific way to do that, okay? The water that you get is going to be important. The temperature that you store it at is going to be important. There's a few different methods. You can either leave it out on the counter and you have to constantly be feeding your sourdough culture, or the way that I've been doing it is less maintenance, is storing it in the fridge. And it's going to be a slower fermentation, and you just don't have to throw away as much sourdough culture. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when I talk about starters and fermenting your flour. The proportions. So in a real artisan sourdough bread, there's really only 3 ingredients that you need. You need wheat flour, you need water, and you need salt. And with that is included your sourdough starter, which is made from wheat and water. And you can do different proportions of these and arrive at the sourdough bread that you like. So I'll teach you what's been working for me, and videos coming up here. So there's all these little factors that are going to play a role, and it can be a little bit different based upon what time of year it is, because the temperature is going to be changing, based upon your climate, what the humidity is, and how there's all these different factors. I'm going to teach you kind of the basics and what's worked for me, and in the end, you really can't screw it up. You'll still have great bread, and so you just practice and you have fun with it, and you'll have some of the best bread that is available. I'm going to give you some more tips in the next video.